which is the basic thing is, what do you do with a girl, basically, physically? You get her number and all that stuff just so you can have something to do with her, right? It's all leading to something, right? So now you've done all these things, right? So now she's there, wherever it is that you agreed to meet, or if you met her on the street, she's there abruptly, the person that you wanted to meet, and then, so where do you take it from there? Like from the date or from the meeting or from anything, right? Where's yeah.
I think we should start.
Yeah.
I mean, no. You got it how you wish too, Gabe. But basically, you decided to meet at a certain point. You are there now. You see her.
No, but this could have also been on the bus too.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's like
initial, visible. You both see each other. Start.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, there she is. You see her. Where should you go with this? Let's start there first. Okay, so what question? Like what do you do? You stop her. What are you gonna do? Stop her on the street.
Yeah, or me personally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Introduce myself. Say, hey, I'm Gabriel. I saw you there, and I thought you were pretty enough. I wanted to come meet you. Something like that. Just genuine. Like, you're attractive enough that I wanted to come see you. Not in those words, but pretty much that's what I'm conveying. Like, hey, you're pretty. I want to come say hi. I'm Gabriel.
Okay. Yeah. Or what you could do is realize that it's like the physical. There's two physical beings meeting right now. So you're observing her, she's observing you, right? And you're interacting. So if she's interacting, she's interacting positively, right? There's something, you feel the positive vibe. It's a feeling, right? It's like a feeling. You feel like there's a positive vibe. Right. So
receptiveness.
You just feel something instinctively. There's something good. It could have been if you slowed it down with a camera, it being 100th of a second, she did something that showed her interest, and you caught on to that, and you think it's intuition, but actually it's in slow motion. She did something, you did something, and you could analyze it, why you feel the things you feel, right? But there's actually things going on, there's interactions going on, right? So when the physical being is towards you, coming towards you, I think the first thing is to recognize the being first.
Like her energy, her vibe.
Her eyes and standing and everything. It's all, you're catching her, catch her in the rye, right? You're just stopping her, let's say on the street. And then you're catching her, right? So she's allowing herself to be caught. So she's like, oh, what's happening here? What's going on? Logically, she's saying that. But underneath, she's not. Underneath, she's thinking, girls are pretty dirty. They're pretty, they think stuff, right? So who knows what she's thinking, but don't assume it's all dandelions, You just don't fucking know, really, And she could be thinking something pretty dirty, right? Or whatever, she could be... So there she is, the being stops, you stop, you catch her. And it's more about your eyes and stuff, It's not the words like, hey, my name's... You're kind of catching her eyes, and it's like your eyes are slowing her down. Your eyes are catching her. Eyes, It's like you're controlling her with your eyes. You can you can totally seduce a chick with your eyes, you know, across the room, totally. Or if you're speaking in a public speaking, I can just target a girl at the audience and just have her so fucking into it. I can even get her to come and meet me behind, like not behind the stage, but I can have her like wanting to meet me afterwards, you know, she knows I'm interacting with her. Like she knows that despite all the people there, if you're talking to a bunch of people, is that you're talking to her, and she can tell her, and any intuitive female will know, like that guy's trying to fuck that girl in the audience, right? And she's into it, right? So that connection is made, right? So now, it's just made, you know, you get up to her and it's already past 3 steps, right? So just let it be past 3 steps, you know, and let her come up to you. Let it be raw as fuck, where you're scared, you know, as a guy, you know, and then just let it be there, you know. And she's like, fuck, you know, this guy can handle this energy, whatever this is, right? Because most guys, they get all nervous, they start talking shit. It's like, you know, no, I'm right here for this energy, right? So you're letting her, and she's like, you know, she's feeling it, and then you're different because it's not even what you're saying. Like you're having 2 different conversations. You're like, yeah, so we're down at the bus, and then she's like, okay, cool, this guy wants me to do this, you know. It's like she totally gets a totally different, it's 2 different conversations, right? You're having with her at the same time. If you're I think you kind of have to have 2 conversations, because if you're trying to fuck her right away, her logical mind can't do it that fast. So you kind of have to like speed it up a little bit. But it's not too complicated, really. But just don't worry about the words. You're catching her, you know, catch her in the rye, and you're connecting with your eyes. So you don't need the words. You can even say, "Oh, I forgot the words," you know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the words. You know, you don't have to say that. You just have to look at her, and then if she's feeling it, she's going to be like, she'll be getting nervous. Then she'll be starting conversations. So where are you from? So what do you do? And then the pressure's off you. You can kind of relax. So now she's nervous. She's kind of telling you about herself, and so you're like, okay, she's into it, even if it's strange that it would be this fast, but she's like telling me about herself. She's comfortable, you know. And then you're like, kind of like, you're just looking at her kind of like, yeah, you got to say this logical stuff. I get it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you need to do this. I understand. Let's do this. But underneath, it's something else, right? So you're like, oh yeah, please let the feminine nervous energy go. It's fine. But we're connecting here, you know what I mean? And then she knows it, right? So you're coming in closer emotionally, right? You can feel it. If you do it right, you're gonna know. You'll feel it. So then you've seduced her already. I mean, she's wet. She's fucking stoked. I mean, whatever happens, like whatever, you know. If you fuck her, you don't fuck her, you know. She's gonna call you 10 times. She's gonna be all stoked, right? And so just kind of let it be, you know, whatever it is that you want to do, you know, then go with whatever that is that you feel, you know, because now you've made this connection, right? So you can, you know, getting her number is just like, hey, I just, you know, like, you know, you don't even want to get her number, actually. What am I saying? No. You're with her. Like she's already memorizing where you live, things about you. She's already, her female brain's already like thinking, fuck, this is like, they move fast, the female brain. It moves very fast. They're like considering, is this the one? Is this, you know what I mean? They're like, I really believe so. I know women will totally disagree, but it's bullshit. Because only the seducer knows some things that women don't know. It's like you can't ask a fish how to be caught, because the fish He knows what bait was used, and he knows some things, but he doesn't know some things about getting caught. Even if he really tries to explain it to you, he can't really explain it because it's different. So the seducer knows because he tries stuff and it doesn't work, and then he tries stuff and it does work. So the seducer knows what works. So I'm telling you right now, like it's like these things work. You just got to have faith. Once you've made that connection, whatever words, whatever the fuck, she'll find you. She'll fucking scour the neighborhood, asking people, "Did you see this guy? This it looks like this," and she'll want to connect with you. If she somehow lost connection, she lost your phone number, right? She'll rack her brain trying to be in your neighborhood or be in your business area or whatever, So make that connection, and then that's it. And then just go with it. Usually the girls are they don't get that connection very often. So, they want to move fast. They want to make sure, right? I just move in or just, often it's a lot faster than you think. The girl's ready. She's ready. Maybe in old days, maybe it was a lot faster. Where your sex was just like that first moment, probably, because her primitive brain is ready, right? So now we do all this flowery stuff, but she was ready for you to be essentially her man for life, you know what I mean? Like, it was that simple. Like, okay, this is the one. He's the fucking A, this is the one that's going to change my life. Okay. And I kind of, you got to know that you're the one. You're the one. It's going to change a lot of girls' lives, You just got to know that, and it'll just happen. The girls will know, you'll know. It'll be fine because they need that. They need that guy who's going to change their life. They need that. That role is necessary, right? Very necessary for them. So just let her know, you're in that role. It isn't even about seducing or anything. It's almost like I'm like a bystander in her necessary romance or something. You know what I mean? Like I'm just I'm getting the benefits of sleeping with her, but really I'm just playing a role for her. And I'm willing to do that. Be that, guy in her mind, right? For her. And then, she moves on. Like the female brain is so flirty or capricious, right? So it's just like, but the thing is like pregnancy happens fast too. So that's the fucking thing. Now I'm talking about like pregnancy and shit. Cause it's like, that's the shit changes their life, right? Cause you could be the guy, if you're the guy who's coming in that fast and making the connection that fast, you're the guy that could be that guy that they've heard about, and they're scared to death of that guy because he's the guy who's going to change everything because they're a child, right? And so they are afraid of adulthood, right? We probably all are, right?
Okay.
So then this is the man that's going to take her there. Let's fuck, that's a pretty scary thing. Like, holy shit. Like, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to be okay? Is a lot of her mind, right? So she's naturally terrified in a way of the guy who comes in like and makes that connection. It's a very serious thing for her, in her very simple mind. And we all are simple, and the girls are really simple on this one. They choose yes, no, yeah, they're into it. You don't have to worry about it. They're not like, girls are really, their minds are even, I think they're much clearer than men's are. They make decisions, boom, bam, done. They never go back. They're just like, we try so hard to say, I never go back because I'm a man. Like girls, once they decide you're out, you're out. You're done. You know what I mean? And you got to be cool with that too. That's the thing about being the seducer. You're coming in and you're coming in on the horse and everything. But you know that her need to ride you like a wild horse is going to be done and over. And you're kind of thrown on the wayside in a way. Because you, as a man, you see that moment. It's so beautiful. with this young woman, you want to capture the moment, but you can't. It's just over, It's so quick. That's why you have to be right there for it, You can't ask questions. You can't be thinking. You can't be doubting yourself. You just got to be there for the moment. You're like, okay, is this chick into it? She's into it. I don't know what to say, but I know she's into it. So I just look at her like, I know you're into it. Like, maybe I'm not doing the right thing here, but let's move forward. I can see what you want, right? So let's figure this out, right? And they're like, and they'll make it easy. Like, okay, he sees, So they make room for you to kind of, because every girl's a little different sexually, right? So you don't know she has to kind of show you what she likes, right? Yeah. But you're that guy, and you kind of just get used up in a way as that guy. Because that moment is like, to a man, it's fucking so beautiful when you have a girl just at the cusp, and then she just, she unleashes it. The feminine energy, and it's like, fuck, it's beautiful. You're just like, God damn it. That's why guys go crazy, over this shit, right? It's that moment. It's that fucking moment where she's like fully letting go for the first time, and just cries of ecstasy, right? She's into it, right? And we want that, right? So it's like, but that moment's gone. She's a different person next morning, and you got to be just like hard as ice. You got to be like, okay. It's not that you have to be hard with her. It's you got to protect yourself from her. Because girls will just, come in and then they move on their way. They've done it. They were, if you ask any girls, they'll say they were hell-bent on not being a virgin or whatever the fuck it was, of getting this baby or whatever the fuck it was. They know exactly what they want. They're going to summer camp for a fucking reason, right? They're going to Coney Island. It's like women are very clear, And so if you see that in them, it's so easy because they're there for a reason. Whereas guys kind of just stumble around hoping they're going to get something with women. When women do stuff, it's for a reason, It's fucking very, very clear for a reason,
So I have a question, because when you said that we're having two separate conversations, right? What the words are coming out and whatever I'm indicating to her. I guess it's that I have to be clear on my intentions or what I want, right? In that under level, right? Because if I'm not clear, I want her to be my wife versus, I want to bone her right now versus any kind of other thing, I have to...
There's only one thing that night, and that's like just tasting her pussy. Like that's where it all starts. The man, you have to have a fucking desire for this chick's pussy, otherwise there's no way you can have a good marriage. It's got to be hot as fuck. You've got to want to fuck that, but you want to get that thing. If you don't want to get that thing, then it's no good, It's no good at all. You're faking it. She's probably faking it, But if you want to get it, you really want to get it, go in and just taste it. Go in and just do it. Let everything else comes as it. It's like they put these judgment on everything. Everything comes out of that connection. So make the connection, follow the connection. Be okay with her suddenly discarding you afterwards, too, because they can be very capricious, right? Women, and it's like, that's hard, especially if the girl's really fucking hot, and you think, this one, she's gonna be like that one. She's not, right? So you're like, God, fuck. It can really get you, and that's okay. I think it's okay to be like, I think every guy that is in touch with himself, he has some pretty fucking heartbroken stories of girls he really was crazy about, So I think that's pretty healthy and normal. It's okay. It's not something to be, because these girls, they're designed. The most dangerous thing is a natural female. That's what people don't understand. To a man, it's like the pure natural female. It's not the girl making lies or makeup or anything. It's because she's the one that traps you. Now, of course, you might want to be trapped because you might want to have kids and stuff, right? But her job is just like a bee or like a bird that is like making this nest, right? And you're coming into this nest, and you're just like, and you're kind of fulfilling her needs, right? Because the female is really in charge, right? She's the one that has babies. She's the one that lets sex go, So you're just kind of coming in, right? So you have to have like a low ego too, girls got to know that you can take it, You got to be pretty tough emotionally. I think that's like JB's like that. So JB in some ways is pretty tough emotionally, and the girls like that about him. Is he can up it a little bit, and they dig on that kind of like that toughness emotionally, right? He's got that, I could just see him being ice cold with a chick, and the girls loving it, because he's not like a pushover. I don't think. In some ways, I think that some ways he's got that bitchiness where he's gonna just come in hard, and the girl's like, fuck, He won't let her get away with stuff. So, and I think that's all part of it, right? Like a romantic relationship is you're trying to get away with, so she's trying to. It's this back and forth, right? It's this. Yeah. It's the whole fucking birds and bees, right? We don't realize we're part of it, right? We get so into the fucking the words we use and pussy and all this shit. It's just like it's just mating. At the end of the day, it's mating, procreation. It's kind of an amazing fucking thing when you look at it from a higher perspective, what we're doing, right? You know what I mean? Like it's like these organisms that evolved out of single organisms on this planet don't even know that their job is to reproduce, and that's what they're doing. And then that's why they have all these feelings, is to lead them to do this. And everything the girl does is instinctual, that is making that possible. And we have our own, it's like amazing. It really is amazing how it all works, So I think just don't get into words too much. If you run out of words, just look at her, I would be totally comfortable in saying, I don't really have any words, so, And she'll just look at you like, what? Because they realize you're comfortable, and that's like really rare, is a man who's comfortable. So you're like, hey, it's like, fuck, all right, that's a good thing for her. She wants that security, right? And also other guys, they look like girls running around nervous. The girls know that, right? They look the other way. We do a lot of dumb shit, guys do. And then the girls look the other way. They big man. They play the game too. Like, we got our weaknesses. We don't want to admit them. And then as long as they don't fucking talk about them, we're cool with that. We can just cover that up. It's fine. But I think it's good to know, your weaknesses. It's good. It's good to be the guy who can handle it,
I got a question. This is something I run into when doing day game. So a lot of times it's two girls, right? And going from the same approach. How do you deal with the second girl there?
Same. I would just say, of course, depends on the situation. But one possible thing I might say like, whoa, hold on a second here. I just was going shopping for some fucking coffee. And all of a sudden, I'm like totally in love with your friend. I'm just thinking about her already, And then she's like, oh, shit, And all I'm doing is I'm just trying to explain what's in my mind already. Because I was just going shopping or doing laundry or something, right?
Do you kind of address the friend first to kind of be like, hey, I'm interested in her? No.
I don't think that's the point.
Yeah, it's not the point. It's just like, you're just like saying, hey, I get a connection with this girl. So it doesn't matter if you're alone with her or you're with another person. You're expressing that connection. The other person's there, and but they're at the end of the day, like we all just trying to make connection on this planet, right? So they're open to it. Girls walk around open to this stuff, right? So I would just. If it was like that, I'd just be like, if she was really being tough, I'd just say, I need some time with your friend, just fucking grab her hand and pull her aside, and say, I'm just digging on you, not sure why. Just want to make a connection. Are you feeling like, and she'll be like, yeah. I'm like, well, let's connect. You got a number or something? Yeah, okay. Let's meet up when this other girl's not here, you know. And then it's true because the other one is cock blocking. And now you made this agreement that she's cock blocking is cock, right? So, you know, you're agreeing to already fuck her right there, right? You know, the other girl's trying to stop this, like parents or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're just like, okay,
So
cool.
good to be getting cock blocked.
Yeah, yeah.
It basically means you're fucking her right there. It's-
Yeah, she's already, she's kind of like, she's feeling it. And, you know, I just kind of, I just, if anybody says something to me, I might just say like, hey man, life is funny. You walk around every day trying to make an extra deal. You never know where you're going to do it. You know, I'm like totally digging on your friend for God knows what reason. And the thing is, I will be digging on the chick that I would say that about. So it's not like I'm not mad. I'm not saying it like, then the next girl comes and I'm just like, I'm digging on your friend. I would just, if I was feeling that, then I would use that. And then just get her number or whatever, you know. And then and the girl might even be like, totally like, fucking take my friend. She wants a boyfriend. Like she might totally cheer you into it too, you know, or the parents or whatever. And that's bad, by the way. That turns down the level of her turn on.
oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's better if they're just kind of blocking a little or not quite, you know.
Or hard.
Yeah, or hard. Yeah, it's like if they're like, she needs help, then she feels embarrassed because she's like, I'm not a charity case.
Yeah.
So she's very hesitant to, you know, she's like, you know, then you have to overcome that. I'd say your friends are retarded. I could see right through what they were saying. They don't even fucking know you, you know. And then I would just tell her exactly who she was. And then if she resonates with that, she'd be like, yeah. I'd be like, why are you even hanging out with these fucking people? You don't have anything in common with them, you know. And she's like, well, I work with them, or they're friends of my sister. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, well, you know. And then now you're already, she sees you as a totally different kind of person. Like each thing that you've gone in deeper now, each fucking, you've just gone in so deep, so fast, right? And you can even say like, fuck, we're, you know, like we've gone, like, it's like, I feel like, you know, do you want to come to my place? I mean, do you want to fucking hang out, have a cup of coffee, you know? And she might say, yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd say, no, let's do it another time, you know? You could do that, you know, you could do all kinds of stuff, you know? But you probably at that point want to tease her a little bit. And then, so that she you don't want her to feel like you're chasing her because you're a guy. So you are, you know. And so you have to accept that. Like we as guys don't like to chase. It's like, oh, you know, these girls, they're small. Like why should we be chasing them, right? But we do, and we want to. So fuck it. It's accept it, you know. That's part of the mating thing, right? It's part of that complex ritual. So just fucking, it's not all ego. So whatever. I'm part of that thing, right? Yeah. I'm part of whatever makes this planet go round. It's fine, you know. So get that connection. Then now, each thing you've done, you're totally different. She can't even think of who you are. There's nobody she knows that is that close to her that quickly. And sees clearly who she is, right? So she feels like a fucking, it's like she has all these blocks, right? But then the one guy can just see directly through her, right? You know? Yeah, and you're just there. But you're not trying to see through her. You don't want to, like, it's like you're not trying to embarrass her. If she's shy, like, you're not like, I can see you naked. You're not like that, no. You're like, I understand you're shy. I understand this is not something you regularly do. I understand, you know. But you also understand they're beautiful, right? And then you can deal with that, right? So this is all can happen very quickly. Because it does in the women's minds. It happens very quickly. They decide this shit right away. They fucking know. Chicks know. You can ask them. They fucking know right away. You know? So be aware, you know? Like if they're turning you down, then fucking they're turning you down. You know, you can, you know, some chicks, for whatever reason, they've decided that on Friday night, they're going to go out and they're not going to fucking do anything with anybody, no matter what. Just because they decided that. You know, it's so dumb. But some girls are really stubborn. You know, they just fucking, they decide they're going to do something and they go do it. You know, and later on they regret it, you know, but they might second guess themselves. But if they're in that mode, you're just like, cool. You know. But I'm looking for the girl who's in touch with herself and like is willing to go deep and take off all the fucking bullshit of humanity and connect. You know, that's what I'm looking for. So if the chick's into that, if she wants that kind of connection with somebody, like I'm down. You know, I like that kind of connection. So she doesn't. Yeah, she's going to be very attracted to that. There's just not many guys like just think this way. So just, I'm down. Like, let's go. It's you're down at the molecule level or something. You know, you're below the fucking. You're connecting. You know, you're just like fucking. It's done. It's totally done. You know. And then move in. She's your girlfriend right there. Boom. You know. She'll be cleaning up, doing stuff for you. Feeling that way, you know. And just let her do that. Let her be a girl, you know. Let her do her thing. Let her, you know, encourage her. That kind of, okay. You know. She wants to pick out something or whatever, you know. I'm cool with that. You know.
So
I'm not like making fun of that. It's like, okay, she wants to put up something on the wall. Then often if I just look at it, I realize that is kind of nice on the wall. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as dumb as I thought, you know. Once you ask her why she did that, she's like, oh, because, and there's some reason, right? So you're like, oh, I see, you know. She had some, like she might look around, well, a designer, an architect might look around here and see, you know, Art Deco here and another French Renaissance period. They might see different, whatever, that's art. I'm fucking,
yeah.
But they see different periods and, you know, but the girl, let me think. What was I going to say with that? Like they might be more delicate in understanding and have more real emotion between something they're doing that seems dumb to you as a guy. So you have to kind of like, once you feel her femininity, you'll start to understand. Okay, she's got this thing she has to deal with, you know. Or she has this way of thinking, or there's this dark, ominous thing behind her, like something happened to her when she was young, you know, her father or something, you know, something. You can really quickly start to sense, like, who this girl is, like the past, the present, you know, pretty quickly. You can, if you're connecting like that, you'll start to see, and then you'll be like, okay, do I want to go deeper? Because if she's all broken and stuff, then you don't want to go deep into that because it's too painful as a guy. It's just like, you know, it's already broken. It's gone. You can't make it come back, right? A woman's like, once she's broken, it's like, she's not coming back. She'll come back as a friend, you know. She'll come back and get an apartment and she'll live on just fine. But that what we're talking about here is not there, you know. Yeah. She has no more interest. Men, there's nothing for men anymore, you know. There's no connection. There's nothing. It's like something's gone, you know. And so guys don't. And so it's, yeah, that's why with women it's cold, right? Fuck, it can happen so fast, right? I know a girl, she got hit by a car, like really slow too, like 5 miles an hour. Fucked her knee up. She had a limp. She was so beautiful. I didn't realize this till she hurt her knee. She was really delicate. She was like a dancer, always playing, always laughing. She really was like an elf, like kind of like light, feminine energy. And she was into yoga, really into yoga, and she was really good. And when she hurt her knee, and she was also very good at salsa and stuff, but it wasn't out of that sense of being popular. She was just trying on the jacket. It was just no big deal to her. She was, and so she was, but then she hurt her knee, and she became an old hag like overnight. Everything was gone. Like she had a limp after that. And it totally changed her because she could no longer frolic about like a young girl. You know what I mean? It just totally crushed her. Fucking crushed her. The poor thing. Like, I wanted to help her. I saw her. She was really nice too. But the fucking limp, she couldn't. She was fucked. That was too much for her. Because she had never thought about what she was, She was just naturally that way and very exuberant. And she never thought anything could happen. And she was kind of stubborn when she got hit too. She was like holding her ground. The other person was doing something wrong in the car. And so it was really dumb too. And it was just like, it was so tragic. It was so tragic to watch. It tore my heart out to watch her. Because she was broken after that. I swear to God, that chick was broken. She was like depressed. I hope she got over it. But she had a limp and she left. She left the city I met her in. And I've just felt so bad because I saw because I like that femininity. Like a lot of guys, they don't really. I like that. And I think if you really want to seduce girls, you kind of have to I think it's pretty important to be real, and I like that. So it's easy for me to do it. It's easy to talk because I like it. That feminine light energy, I like it. It's very different than my energy. So to me, it's just very refreshing, when they're just bouncing around Hello Kitty and stuff. Like, that doesn't bother me at all. Those kind of girls don't bother me at all. Like, I like that. Like, when I die, I want to be next to a school where they're talking like that. You know what I mean? I love that. I'm into it. It doesn't mean I live for it or anything. It's not like that. But I appreciate it, I appreciate it as one of the beauties in life, right? It's one of the true beauties. There's a few true beauties, right? The ocean can be extremely beautiful. The stars can be extremely beautiful, right? It's not that they're everything, but they can just be amazing sometimes. You're just like looking up like, what the fuck, And I have that appreciation for the girls too. So I'm just like, I can see each one of them. So I can kind of look at them and see them and appreciate them. And I think that's a lot for them, for girls. They feel that. That's like, yeah, they feel it. And that's enough. You just, whatever you do past that, it doesn't even matter. I mean, of course, they're going to want to be physical with you, But that might still be the peak, The physical might not be that great. You never know. It's like, it's the mental, it's the connection, You're making that connection down with two animals, right? That connection down there, And then you're just kind of letting it ride, And you're aware of it, Her animalness, your animalness. I don't know if that makes sense.
So, I don't know if it's going to come out as a question or a comment, if you could comment on it. So it's, because to get on a girl's level like that, I have to be vulnerable, right? Before I can be vulnerable with her, I have to be completely raw and honest.
No, it's not about raw and honest. It's just like, be human. That's it. You just have to be human. You're open to whatever you're hearing, smelling, seeing. You're allowing yourself to be there.
That's the blockage.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like being able to be vulnerable like that. I know you're saying it's not, but like letting a guard down, letting pretensions down, something like that. And I'm sure if I'm asking, it's something I know I struggle with it less, but I know it's something that Yeah, not trying to be the cool guy, not trying to be the this or that, but trying to be present in the moment.
But what's happening in like the physical real world when you're at, all this stuff is going on?
Like locking up.
Oh, you're talking to her.
Yeah, or I'm about to, and then I like seize up.
Oh, okay. Right. I think
And it's like a fear, right? It's some kind of fear that's causing that.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I take the pressure off myself and I just move to places where there's lots of fucking girls, so it's not so important. It's like, it's like I don't have to be perfect or hit on every girl. I'm in a situation where there's a lot of girls around and there's a lot of chances. I think what you're talking about is like, it's too much pressure. Like I can feel it. It's like it's not going to help anything, It's like it's the pressure. No matter what you do logically, the pressure's all there. They can feel it, Just connect with people. Just fucking connect with like normal people, and then be aware. I think that there's like a connection, and there's also seduction. So that's the hard part, because you gotta seduce, right? You have to seduce, right? That's your job, You're not like a Home Depot employee, right? You're fucking there to fucking do something, So you gotta fucking, yeah.
Not a fucking Home Depot.
Yeah, you gotta fucking get in there and make some shit happen, right, with this chick, right? So I think you just gotta think of yourself as a sexual being, just fucking, things are gonna work out. Talk to chicks, they're gonna like you. I mean, if you're in a position where if you're living in a place or you're somehow in a position, like here you are in New York City, right? You're complaining because you don't live here, right? But you're fucking here, right? A lot of people listening, they're fucking Kansas City or some shit. You know what I mean? They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? You live here, Basically, you live in New Jersey across the river, right? So, you can moan about not living in the city, but these other fucking people, like it depends on where they are, right? India or whatever, it can be very different, right? So there's a lot of opportunity here, and you're coming in and out. Maybe it's better to be in and out. Maybe you don't want to live here. Make your money there, come in here, meet a girl, take her over there. She wants a Jersey guy. She wants a fucking solid thing, A lot of girls do, right? They want a solid thing. They want a fucking solid guy they can trust, They like their dad. They have a good, connection with their dad. They're looking for a solid guy. Fucking boom, In New York, there's not that many, right? It's a totally different thing in New York, right? Like, look around, it's totally different. Everybody's competing for all this other stuff, Whereas if you're like a solid fucking guy, there's not that many guys, Yeah. So it's how you think of yourself, right? And what you want, But for me, I think it all starts with seduction. So I think you gotta man up and fucking go for that pussy hard, because that's where it all starts. It all fucking starts after that. And girls, they can complain of whatever the fuck they can think, but they know the truth. It all starts there. You gotta want that fucking box. And she's gotta know that you want that. For whatever crazy reason, all the girls, is that you are into that. And you can't fake that. Right? So that's why I don't hit on a lot of girls, because I don't feel it, And I know most of the girls I break up with or I let go, it's because I know I can't fuck them long term because I don't feel that. Whereas there's other girls, like I can fuck them for 10 years solid, fucking every day, completely solid every time. Like I just know this is a good girl here. So those are the fucking good girlfriends, You get those on board, But so yeah. But yes, it's all sex. It's all sex, man. That's what they want from a guy. That's the bottom line. You know, you got to be a sexual being. You got to be fucking. You're there. Like, as weird as it is, like some guys are very feminine. Doesn't matter. Does not fucking matter. Because you're there for that need. For you're in touch with that, and you're fucking gonna give it to her, right? And she can relax on it with you, because she knows that that sexual side is done, and then the rest is just easy. You know, the rest can all be explained if the sexual side is done. You know, so that's why I don't go for every girl. That's why I don't like the pickup guys who they go hit on every girl. I don't think that's good. I wait until I want to fuck her, and so when I come up, I want to fuck her. You know, so if she asks me, I'll say I want to, like, you know, I want to put my dick in your pussy. Like, I'd love to do that. We might not do it, but if you ask me what I'd like to do, I think you're really fucking sexy, and I would love to, you know. And the girl's like, whoa, you know. I'm not saying it's a good pickup line, but it's totally fine too, you know. It's just completely honest. The girls feel it when you're being honest. Like, I'm not saying that to be any kind of ego. That's exactly what I want from that chick. She's like a fucking racer to me. She's a fucking fire engine. I want to do that, and I'm just telling her that, and that makes her feel good. She's like, fuck, I'm sexy, you know, to this guy. And you're not. It's not words. You want to fucking grind her down, you know. You're gonna fucking work that girl, you know. And so wait until you feel it, and then seduce those girls. You know, don't be this guy who not in touch with himself. It's like you're going for these girls. Like, well, girls. I should say, it's good to have a couple of orbiters that just fuck you, even though you don't really. It's no big deal. Like, good to have some girls milking you, because that allows you to do the game better, you know. So it's okay, actually. Yeah, I shouldn't say that. It's good to have that kind of frivolous girl around. Or a couple like reliable ones. They might be in a relationship long term. It's not, you know. So that'll keep you kind of going. And they know too. They know if you're like a really cool guy, they know they're just warming you up for some really hot girl. They kind of know that, you know. They're keeping their confidence high. And the thing is, for me, so I'll have a girl, let's say she's married or whatever, and we have good sex. But after a while, she realizes that she's not going to get me. But she likes me. And then she realizes that I'm going to get other girls. And then she like has a decision to make, right? Where is she going to go with that? You know, is she going to help you to get what you want? And what I do is I just, at those kind of moments, I just look at the girl like real honestly, like, you know, like we're at a crossroads, what should we do, you know? Like, I really do care about you, you know. Like, I'll tell her, like I'll cry or whatever I'm feeling, and I'll just tell her, and then I'll just say, you know, whatever. But I really want to fuck this other girl. We should fuck her, you know, whatever you're thinking, right? You know, just feel free, you know. The girls they let you be more free, you know. The girls let you be more free than guys will, like, you know. Once they kind of like realize, okay, this guy, he's pretty open, you know. They kind of just want to see you be an open, sensitive guy, which is funny because you're fucking all these girls. But that's the weird thing. It's the only guy that could be like that. That's the weird fucking thing. And they kind of know it too.
Go deeper into that.
Was the only guy that could do that. You know, go ask a question.
Why is it that they feel that, and it's also true that only the guy that's fucking tons of girls can feel that, can be like open, like vulnerable in some way.
Well, he's the guy for everything. I mean, he's the guy. He's their guy. Like, they might have a husband or whatever, but he's their guy. Like, for everything, you know. So yeah, so it's like, all the logical questions aside, a woman is like, you're her guy or not. It's like super fucking clear. Yeah. So you're her guy. So whatever that is, nothing logical changes that. No contract, nothing, if she sees you as her man, she's looking to you, for, and so I will sympathize with them, whatever they want to do, like if they want to be with their husband or go back or they want to do something, it's cool. I'm not always wanting sex. Like I at some point you gotta like realize it's like there's bad karma if they all, you gotta like figure out a way that you're not leaving a wake of destruction somehow, even though that's kind of what you do as a guy. It's like it's that's the hard part, because you are the seducer, right? But try to somehow make it that it doesn't destroy them, It breaks their hearts, right? That's what they want. They want their hearts broken. So that's okay. There's a big difference between destroying them and breaking their heart, right? It's like you're breaking their heart. It's like, fuck, this guy. I can't get this guy. Fuck, I can't keep this guy to myself, Oh, well, oh, fucking well, because that's what you do. You're moving on. She knows it too, You're just going to fucking roll through a bunch more girls. And she's like, fuck, these young girls don't know what's coming with this guy. Because it's not an age thing either. If you're in the right position, it's like, once you figure the thing out, it's like, you'll roll through a lot of girls, and you'll help them too. Like, they'll be stoked. So I think thinking this way is better than talking to them or whatever. I know I'm part of this thing. I'm not, like, I'm playing a role in this thing. At the end of the day, no matter, you can make the role as powerful as you fucking want, but you're just playing a role in it. And there's a humility in that too, I think, in being part of humanity. At the end of the day, we're just playing this role the best that we can. We're trying to do good things. You know what I mean? Whether it's friends, business, girls, parents, whatever, right? But never forget the fucking pussy. You got to be wanting that pussy. Because if you're not wanting that pussy, then that means it's not that you want. You guys are not going to understand this, but when you free yourself, you'll get more horny. And then you'll know more clearly. And the more confidence you have, you'll know girls that you don't want and girls that you do want. When you're all stuffed up and you only have a few choices, then it's really hard to know who you are. It's really difficult to do this stuff. But you might be able to do it with one girl and do it right. It's possible. It is very possible. So don't, just because it's not every girl, like, you just got to ride that pony right couple times in life, and you're a winner, right? So don't feel like you need to win every rodeo. You don't. Some things you're just not going to be good at, and that's the way it is. But, just play the best you can, I was a shitty baseball player. What the fuck, Like, I totally sucked, yeah. I just could not play baseball, So, whatever, You just accept you're not good at things. You can't do things. But you're this role, like it really is a role. The role of seducer is a role. You're just helping the girls, like, something inside their fucking feminine being wants this. It's like, can't be stopped. The estrogen is way powerful. Like, we talk about testosterone, but the estrogen is super powerful. Yeah. If you're around too many girls, you'll know what I'm talking about. It gets overwhelming. The estrogen, the more girls you get, you realize, holy shit. When you really are around it, you realize that. I think women that work like an all women company, they know what I'm talking about. It's like, they're all sisters, all women company. It's like, it's good. Feminine energy is great. It's like, it can be very awesome, but at the same time, it's like the estrogen, fuck, man. It's like, you need as a man, you need to get away from that shit sometimes, Fuck. You go in so deep as a seducer that you need to get away and have your boys where you don't fucking try to hit on any girls. You just fucking, you're just like, whatever, So take a break. Be with your guys, and then you go in again. Don't try to do it all the time. It's like now. Sometimes you're just taking a break. It's like right now. We're just taking a break right now. In here, no girls, And then it can abruptly change, right? We go to the laundromat, and there's a fucking girl there. And all of a sudden, the game's on, right? It's fuck, God damn it, The game's on, Because it's kind of nice when it's off, It's like fucking relaxing.
Speaking of that,
Yeah.
When we were walking out, you were like, oh, there was some body language, something that you were going to point out. And I was like, yeah, tell me. And then, it was like we walked out, and then, doorway effect, it totally left our minds. But there was something there, and you were like, you wanted to say something about the body language.
In the store?
As we were...
Where?
Yeah. We were in the laundromat, or as we were leaving, something in that time, you were like, some body language thing that you wanted to point out.
Oh.
Very strong. Because you don't usually call these things out. You
Oh,
were like,
shit.
oh, yeah.
Who was I looking at?
I don't know where you were looking at all. I think you were behind me. So I don't know what you were doing.
Oh.
And then I was going, there were like the empanadas or whatnot. And I was like figuring out which bag it was.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, this thing. And, like,
And I came behind you. So that moment.
Something around there. You were saying something either before then or after then. I don't know. That's all I have.
Well, I was
Maybe I
definitely
forgot.
super glad the guy wasn't there anymore.
Which guy? The owner?
The
or
owner guy, yeah.
The owner guy.
Yeah. Because the girls were like kind of stupid. So like they didn't know what was going on with us at the moment, right? They couldn't see through what was going on with it. So I was very relaxed about that because I'm like, okay, these chicks, they're just clueless, yeah. Because I didn't want the guy. For some reason, I didn't want the guy to be aware, Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a Muslim guy. He's all uptight and shit,
Right. We might be going back there.
Yeah. He was all friendly to us. Like, Muslim guys are cool. He was a cool Muslim guy, right? And he's like, okay, yeah, he's all right guy, yeah. So he was being cool to us, right? Which is, of course he's trying to make money because he's got a business and everything, but he was still pretty cool to us, actually. I thought it was pretty manly the way he was treating us. He gave us that free food,
He did.
He like paid for it. Because the girl, she's like, where's the money? And then he's like, I'll take care, So, yeah.
Because
So,
I remember that, walk us through that scenario, because I was kind of like, I wasn't fully present. You were.
yeah.
You were, and people knew that. It was like the guy who owned the store was fully present, or the whatever it was, the laundry machine guy.
Okay, yeah, no, it's a good question. So we're in the laundromat and gonna have another meaningless interaction. If I was watching like a computer game, that's what I would think was gonna happen to those characters, right? They're just gonna go in the laundromat, say hello to the guy. The guy's gonna say hello. How much do you want? It's gonna be follow a path, right? But I don't like those paths. I always want to get down into real feelings, right away. So that's why I told him. I said, where are you from? Because I knew he's from India, and I knew he's Muslim too. I could tell, and there is a lot of Muslims in India, but there's still a very minority, because it's a Hindu country, right? And so then he's like India, and I'm like, and so I thought, okay. I want to, like, I think, like, I'm not happy with just what everybody else wants. Like I want to connect with people and then move on. Like I just want to connect. So I'm going to try to do anything. So I said, hey, I was in India.
That element of it makes sense, right?
Yeah. So like I had a motorcycle, drove through India and was trying to, it wasn't like, it was nothing about the motorcycle. It was nothing about, I was just trying to, because I knew that as an Indian guy, you have a persona that you put onto the dumb locals. Because I'm an expat. So I know that too. Like I pretend like a certain way. But actually I'm totally complex guy, right? But to the Japanese, I'll just, because that's what they want. They want a California surfer, right? When they see me, right? So that's easy. Because they like California surfer. So it's all good. So it's not even negative, right? I'll just play into that. But really what I like is people that connect and see me as more than that. So I knew this guy, he's an interesting guy, a Muslim guy with a, there's not many guys like that around here. This is not like one of those areas. You know what I mean? It's not a Muslim area at all.
Yeah.
It's like a Puerto Rican area and like.
Oh yeah, because you were asking about Indian food.
Yeah, I said.
You asked about northern Indian food, which I thought was interesting because he said he was from the south, but and then he was like, there's basically nothing around. He said there was something Pakistani maybe down in Coney Island.
The reason why I said that is because it's not about north and south. He's not Hindu. So the Hindus, they're vegetarians, essentially.
Uh-huh.
Hindu is a vegetarian religion, basically. And then in the north, you have Indians that are from different tribes, right? Like fighting tribes, and they have knives. They're totally different cultures, right? They're not the Hindu. They're tough guys, the Gurkhas and stuff in World War II. These guys are badass fucking guys. So they're completely different in the north, right? And they eat meat. They eat meat. They don't say much. They pretend like they're the same, but they're not totally different than the Hindu guys, right? And so I knew that. And I knew that because he's not Hindu, I knew that he was more going to associate with those guys. He can't really associate with the Hindus because he's not, like I knew he wasn't going to be vegetarian for sure because there's too much pressure in India. Like you're either Hindu or get the fuck out, right? In the South. Because I was in the South a lot.
Okay.
So like he would have been in a separate community. So I was trying to find out who the fuck this guy is, That's why I just want to find out who the fuck he really is, It's not about what country he's from, but like what's he dealing with? Why does he have this fucking business here? Like why the fuck is he in Brooklyn? It's kind of weird, to be honest. I'm still a little bit curious about the guy. Because the way he doesn't let things on, but he saw that I could see him as a person.
Uh-huh.
And that's why he's like, hey, he started acting like he would back home. So when you looked at the food, he's like, give him the food, I'll pay. Like, we're customers. You know what I mean? Like, you don't do that in Brooklyn. But I broke through. So now he was like seen as more as friends. So I didn't want him to see us the way we were a little later. You know what I mean?
I see now why you had like some sort of reticence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I knew that would be too much for him. I think it's one thing to make a friend with a local, like a real friend, like man-to-man friend.
Yeah.
And it's another thing to fucking deal with locals, the stuff that locals do. Locals smoke weed. Locals, fucking go to clubs. Locals fucking it's too much for him. Fashion, everything. He's just man-to-man connection. Like, okay, I got a friend here, And that's what everybody's looking for. So I was seeing if he's kind of open to that. And he was very receptive. He was just like suddenly stepping up. So that's why I'm like, I was even thinking of bringing that licorice that Hamish gave and just giving it to him next time I see him, say, hey, you like licorice, here you go. Because like I felt that he gave something to us, right?
Right, and all of it happened initially, because then because I was kind of not present in the interaction fully. I mean, I also have the ability to connect with people like that on some level, but I definitely, I mean, you were the one actually connecting, and and then I was sort of like more like on my way out, and but he was very, and all that happened, and then at the end it was like, oh yeah, like whatever. He was talking about, it's hard to describe exactly what happened, but yeah, you said it right. Like he sort of noticed, for some reason, I did want food. Maybe even hurts, like somehow he got that, and then he was saying, yeah, whatever, like have it, and then there was this moment when you were like, should we pay or whatever, and then he was like, no, like I got it.
Yeah.
And
because he sensed that. Well, like I was making a connection with the dude. Like in this world, like people make connections, right? And if you make connections with people, like then things can happen. So it's the same with girls. It's a connection. Now, with a dude, the connection is the same thing.
But there's no
it's
sexual part. It's actually perfect that we talk about this because that was connection.
Yeah.
Deep human connection.
Yep.
Real human connection.
Like I want to hear his struggle.
Absolute no seduction.
Yeah.
So that's because that's a good starting point because that's connection. But then there's seduction, which is like now that's connection, right? Like maybe.
Go keep going.
Well, maybe you like.
I'm not sure where you're going. Yeah.
Well, like maybe you bring some licorice or whatever. Maybe whatever. Like it's there. You made the connection, but there's no like clear start or end point.
The reason why I would give the licorice is acknowledgement of what I saw him do. Like because what most Americans wouldn't notice what he did. Right? He would make a gesture of goodwill, and then people wouldn't even see it.
Reciprocation, right?
Well,
that's what you were looking for.
Well, no, it wasn't even reciprocation. It was just recognition that he did something. Like, he was seeing me not as just a local guy, some fucking dude, right? He was making connection, which is weird for a Muslim guy, right? In Brooklyn, right? You know what I mean? So, like, he was, like, making a friendship connection, So he did that when he paid, right? And then I want to let him know, like, no words, but just say, oh, my friend brought this from Melbourne the other day. Maybe, you might like it, and just give it to him. And then just silently, he knows, like, oh, fuck that guy, that's what they would do back home, right? Like he offered, I offer, right? Then it's another level, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. So like he could easily, like from now on, he might say, because he knows I want like real Indian food, right? So he might be like, hey, fuck, let's go to this Pakistani restaurant. That's what happened to this Indian guy in my building in Thailand. He was this kind of rich Indian guy. It took him a while to kind of break the guy down. He was a weird rich Indian guy. He wasn't like, he was an independent guy. He was a very independent kind of guy, but he made a lot of money. And so anyway, he was in my building. And once he trusted me and realized I didn't want anything from him, he was like, I know the best fucking Indian place. And I'm like, where is it? And it was in the fabric market, in the back of the fabric market across town. Like, it was the cheapest place. It was like, fuck, that was so cheap, right? It was like the cheapest Indian ever. But it was fucking great. And then once we went together, then we made a connection. And then now the guy, like, that guy, then he told me all kinds of stuff. Like, there was that Nazi war criminal living in our building, right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And he told me who he was and stuff. Yeah. Full on. Yeah. He's now moved out. He's down in Pattaya now. But yeah, full on wanted war criminals and living in our building. Yeah. Ever since World War II. So he had to be. Yeah. And I used to see him at the pool all the time. And so he trusted me. He said, and so I just treated him. I talked to him just normally, the guy. He was a doctor, German doctor. So you can kind of put the pieces together if you know the German history of World War II and doctors and stuff, right? Yeah. So, but I always felt he was a pretty good guy. I don't know. I'm sure the people in his care wouldn't feel that way, but I felt like maybe he was pushed into it. Or he was trying to make amends in his old age or something. I don't know. He certainly didn't seem evil to me in his old age. He was like 94, something like that. Yeah.
Makes sense, but yeah.
Yeah. And he had been free, you know. Yeah.
So, let's
But that connection all happened because of that original connection, and then he trusted me, and so he said, I know this Indian restaurant, and it's really good. I could see in his voice he was all excited about it, because like this guy owns all these properties, yeah. And I'm like, why is this guy all excited about this fucking Indian restaurant inside of a fucking fabric market? But he was super excited about it, you know. And he's like, this is the most authentic, and it's so cheap, like back home. So we went together on the bus. He didn't want to take the taxi. He wanted to take the fucking bus. So I learned the bus from him. This guy's a gazillionaire, and like we're taking the bus, right? And across Bangkok, right? For like 10 cents. And then now I know the bus to get out there, you know. So anyway, and then he trusted me and friends, you know. So now things could happen, right? Like I could easily see him. Anything could happen, you know. And I trust him too. But I just can feel it that he's trustworthy. Like, yeah. I left significant sums of money with people in Bangkok because I trusted them. And my trust was correct. You know. So you don't even need banks if you have trust. If you trust people and they trust you, understand people, you can get along doing a lot of things without lawyers, without a lot of things. That's going to sound crazy, but it's not. It's totally true. I've totally lived my life that way. And I don't break the trust. Like, I'm very serious about it. So people know that. So it's like, it works. I don't care if other Americans don't do it. I don't care if it's from another fucking era. I do not give a shit. It's like, I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. That's it. That's fucking it. I hate when people check up because it's like, what's wrong with you? I fucking told you. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean by checking up?
Well, they'll say, do you still want to do that? Or are you still going to do that? It's like, I know I can't really trust them anymore because they didn't understand what the word meant. They're the guy who would change on me. Because I would never ask that because I know the guy made a commitment. He's going to do it. Because I can read people. I can be with them, you know. So I trust them. So I'm not going to ask, hey, that stuff I trust you with, can I still trust you with it? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Right? You trust the guy. Done.
Right.
Yeah, and you're trustworthy. Fucking, there's no questions. Shake hands. Done. Don't even need to shake hands.
So,
And there's a lot of fucking value in having friends like this. It's insane, the power. Because you're totally outside the system. Because everything's set up because people don't trust each other. That's everything. That's why all the lawyers, everything's there. That's what stops everybody from doing shit, because they don't trust. So once you understand people and yourself, you know, you can do stuff, you know. But like, I trust if my friend says he's going to be there, you know, I'll be sitting at the dock waiting. I know he's going to be there. You know what I mean? Middle of the night, whatever. You know, the fucking situation.
So there was a pivot there, obviously, from the seducing women to the men. Do you trust women differently than how you trust men when you're talking about that type of trust that you were just talking about a moment ago? Does that apply to your women relationships?
Women are exactly the same on this one. Women can be very trustworthy with money. They can be. Women can be like stalwarts with things, but you got to be able to read them. You got to be able to read them, you know, and they're going to break it for certain things. So you got to know about that too. But basically, they're pretty good. Women are pretty good. You can trust. Like money, I've trusted, like when I left Japan, I left about $150,000 with one girl. And she was absolutely trustworthy. In fact, when I ran out of money in that account, she started putting her own money in. So I didn't even know the account was out of money yet. And then she's like, hey, you know, you should replenish that. What are you talking about? She said, I've been using my own money for like 6 months. I'm like, why didn't you tell me? I didn't know the money was out of that account. She was like so good. She was like paying her own money. So like, girls can be like that. They can be very, if they're really on board with you, you know. you know.
Well, there's something different there with girls, though, because there's the seduction aspect. The guy is just connection. But then with women, there's the seduction element. Because that's what, it's like, how do you, there's a differentiation between those two. And then, because it changes everything. The different sexual dynamic, there is a sexual dynamic.
Yes.
And then, like, I don't know.
I think you just have to turn it on and off. You just can't, like, it's like, you just have to turn it on and off. Like, all beings are sexual, right? In a way, every being, that's the thing that we don't want to face, is that all beings are sexual. And we can't stand it. We see a guy who's really handsome and he's kicking ass, like, we feel something. It's like, fuck that guy. It's because he's very attractive. Right? We watch movie stars, we watch porn, right? So for myself, I totally just compartmentalize the two. You know what I mean? It's like dudes are dudes, chicks are there for sex, and I feel the same thing for guys, the same depth of emotion. But it just doesn't, there's no, maybe there's like a desire to help. Like, I see the sexuality and I want to help it. So I want to help the guy go get girls. Right? So that he can, fulfill his, whatever the fuck that is, right? He's got to get out there and do it. So that's what that in that sense, helping the guy to go, by giving away ideas, to a younger guy, right? It's like just freely teaching, it's good to do that. It's good to do that as a man. And as you're getting old enough, like, it's like people will start to watch you, and then you can be, doesn't even take words, right? It's just like a leader, It's like Guys don't like a lot of words sometimes. It's like they trust you. You're going in the right direction. They're like, fuck yeah, I want to do that too, right? Or whatever, And also you give them your blessing, because like in the movie, the mafia Johnny gives a blessing. Okay, we want to, get into this new business or whatever, and he's like, okay. So you're kind of, he's throwing ideas at you, what he's going to do. And then you're like, if you give an idea your blessing, it means that you think it's a good idea for him and a good idea for everything, right? And so he's like, okay, I tested it. I'm going to go do it, right? Because he trusts you as a kind of a mentor, right? That's what I would do with Dawn. I was like, should I do this? Should I do that? But then I quickly surpassed Dawn. So Dawn, it's kind of a fake mentor, because it was just for a short period of time. Because Dawn was in many ways an idiot. So yeah, I talk about him like reverently, because he got me kind of going on the books and everything. But in truth, he was not as deep. But at the time, that was exactly what I needed, his ideas, those books. So I'm grateful for that, right? But also I realized there wasn't anywhere to go past that. He was from a totally different generation. And he had a diamond tie clip, and that's how he seduced chicks. And
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just all money, And he would offer money and stuff.
Right.
Yeah. He didn't really get the seduction thing. Although he knew women, He counseled women. So he did know women, and a lot of women came to him for advice, actually. So he could handle women. Yeah.
So I was thinking about this as you were saying, about talking with men and women, that I used to do day game, and I would record myself, right? I would have my phone in like a shirt pocket like this and on record, so I could hear what I was doing, right? And now I'm thinking about, because a lot of times...
We're not going to put this thing online, so we can just say whatever.
Oh.
Whatever.
Really? Why?
What, this is good.
I think this is fucking good.
No, this is good.
Dude,
Yeah.
this
is good.
Probably the best recording because it's not like gonna be online. It's just natural conversation.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
it's
really good.
Okay.
And I'm connecting with a lot of parts of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a lot of things where it's like, oh, I'm interested more in this or in that. Like good little segues.
Yeah,
But I don't want to get you off your flow state.
Yeah, there's definitely gold in this. I think this should be put up. Yeah, but
Give me questions.
yeah. Well, I just want to make an observation because I used to do day game. Like I said, I'd record. I'd have my phone on record and just listen back. And a lot of times I would notice I'm just becoming friends with the girls, but I think it's because it was the girls that I really wasn't that into. I think it was like girls that I was going and oh, there's a pretty girl, so I should go talk to her, and I'll talk with her and like, oh, we're friends, right? But it wouldn't be like any flirting because I think those were girls that like actually I really wasn't that into. I wasn't really like feeling it because I think the girls that I am actually into, it just naturally becomes flirty. I don't think I have to consciously do much. I just kind of make room for it to become flirty, and it just kind of goes in that direction.
Okay.
So just that as an observation.
Yeah, no, it's good. Don't chase the ones that you don't want. Even if they're hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be in touch with yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's
like whatever it is that turns you on. Like just let that be what it is.
Right. And that was to Connor's question a little bit earlier because I think again I just would naturally be flirty with the girls that I'm like, it gets my blood going in some way. It just kind of goes in that way anyway. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to wrap it up? This is kind of.
No, I mean.
I guess.
You probably wrap up this episode and
Yeah.
maybe start another one.
Okay.
This-
Yeah. Hit that one. I don't know what that one's called. What is it called?
I don't fucking know. Let's think about.
Oh, you should stop it though. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
when you're gonna make it, then think about what the title should be.
All right.
It's a lot
Okay.
of shit in there.